How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the first episode of 567 Now What? We're
Ah,
pretty much we're pretty hold on. You gotta say it though, Glad. You gotta say it because he created it. Please.
it's my thing. No,
Yeah.
wait, you want to give a story?
No,
This
no, no, no. You just
story?
gotta just say welcome to the first episode of.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode of 567 Now What?
So basically, the quick backstory of that is all week I've been thinking of a name for this podcast, and then I speak to Cloud for like 2 minutes and I tell him what I want to do and my objective with it, and then he comes up with the name within 2 seconds. So thank thank you, Cloud. Thank you. Much appreciated.
But it was just
Uh
like life after dance, right?
that was your first one. That was your first
Well,
name.
no, I mean this is what the podcast. That's what the podcast is about. It's like what life is after dance,
Yeah.
or how does life
Basically,
continue?
after dance, the
Yes,
transitions and
true
what a
that.
better person to speak to. Um Cloud, I got some good questions for you today. Well, first and foremost, I just want to let you know, like, Cloud's one of my best friends, so I speak to him regularly. So it's going to be really insightful to ask questions which float around in my head as a friend, which I've actually never really asked before. You ready for the first one?
You never asked before, really? You waited like this all these years to ask
I've
me these
waited
questions?
I've waited all these years because they're like, I mean, we kind of have conversations about them, but I've never really gone like, oh, I wonder. Do you know what I mean? It's like not what friends do.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
surprising.
I know. You'll
But
see
we always
though.
had deep convos.
I know, but these are a little bit more in depth. All right. So my first one is to
Okay.
you.
Here you
Is my first
Okay,
one
let's do it.
is my first one
Oh
is
shit.
when you were a kid breaking, did you ever dream of getting into film and directing? If not, when did you start envisioning this for yourself?
Hmm. It's a good question.
I know,
No.
I know. That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Uh, I was like Australian again. Uh, no, as a kid, no, definitely not. Definitely didn't see. I didn't even understand the whole film world or any of that thing as a kid. So I just saw people on a screen doing their thing, like Jackie Chan and all that stuff, and like you know,
How
um,
regular people watch movies, basically.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. I was a very basic person then. No, I'm not
Shut
trying to
up.
say it's basic. No, but
I don't believe you.
when I started dancing as a kid, I was it was yeah, I was literally just seeing it through the perspective of a kid. Like it was very I was exploring in that world, as a as dance, like as if it was a whole new world to me to play in. So I was only focused just on that, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I would, I would wake up and dance. I would before I go to bed, I'll be dancing like. And we didn't have any furniture in our house like when I was growing up. So like it was like the whole house was like a dance floor. So
Oh,
it's pretty cool.
wow. Look
Yeah.
at that. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was the early years of dancing for me. Like we had a
Wow.
TV set, and it was like we would play Beach Street on it, and then we would just like in the back, like we would find cardboard boxes like out on the street and stuff like that, and just cover the whole back room in it, and just practice. And
Who is we?
stand
Oh, that was a strong one.
back. No, me and my two brothers. Um,
Oh, right. So you started breaking with your two brothers, basically.
with my two brothers, yeah, Kevin and Aaron. We all just started we all started together, and we would dance in the back room all the time, which was like kind of like a bedroom, but we turned it into our session room.
Of course you
So
did.
yeah, so that's that side of the question. So as a kid, no, I had no idea what film was, or my interest in it was zero. I just wanted to dance. Um,
So roughly at what age, or even within your dance career, would you say that it kind of like started shifting for you? Like your eyes started kind of opening up to that.
it started opening up in when I think I was 17 or 18. Um, I was working at Universal Studios, Florida, and that was kind of like my first job as a dancer. And I
Oh
just like
wow.
yeah, yeah, with my crew at that time. We all just kind of started working at that place doing a street show at Universal Studios, and we would go there every day. And just being something about being on in a theme park and seeing like backlots and stuff like that, and seeing the world like it's a fake real
Mm,
world. It's like so it kind of gives you the idea of film. You know what I mean?
of course,
So
it makes
you're like,
complete sense. You were like
so my brain
living.
started to work in that. Yeah,
You were living on set.
I was living like on set. It felt like I was walking on set, and I was seeing like there was this one a particular one that I was drawn to, which was like this alleyway. It looked like a New York City alleyway, and I just
I
fell in love with it.
remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, I went in there, and I was like, and at that time we were filming more. Like we were filming ourselves like on with video cameras, like doing the show, and I like and so I just started to my brain was opening more up to like video, and then I got a video for Christmas, a video camera, and then so I decided like on our breaks, and yeah, during our breaks I would just go to that alley and just film myself in the alley dancing, and I just started cutting this together, and but I think it was born like the storyteller in me was born when I was little, but I didn't relate the two with dance and storytelling. Like I just told stories in my head about stuff. Like I would
Mm,
make up scenarios with my brothers and stuff like that, but they weren't connected then, like dance and storytelling. It was separate. Um,
right.
so
I'm
yeah.
actually quite surprised that it was then at that moment. That's really interesting.
What do you mean
Because
that late on?
yeah, I do know. Maybe not even that late on, but just you being there and it kicked off, which is amazing and it makes complete sense. Because I do know the story of you guys working there together, just from speaking to like you and Venom and everything. But I just didn't know it was
Yeah,
then, and it was like at that because you shot that video there as well, right?
yeah. I shot my first short film there.
Yeah,
That's where
that's
I
what I
shot it in
mean.
that alley.
Yeah, so I didn't know
Yeah,
like
tell the paper.
that. Yeah, I didn't know that that was the beginning. And that's what I mean. I've known you for like forever, but and I've seen that video. I mean, I remember seeing that video even when it first came
Yeah,
out. I just didn't know like that was the first one. Do you know what I mean? My second question is, this is really random. Do you truly believe in your core that anything's possible?
uh, that anything is possible. Um, I don't like that. I think I'm on the fence with it in terms of like anything is possible. It just depends on like what do you define as possible in your mind. I think.
Because that okay, so where I'm going with it, because I feel like with you, I feel like if you really like think about things and yeah, I don't mean like can I fly and then I attempt to like jump out the window and see what happens. Um, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel more so like with you when you like really tap into something, like you're gone with it.
Yes.
Like you're gone. And I feel like
Yeah, yeah.
that's quite it's like a unique thing to have.
If you it's like a timing thing. If you feel like if you're in a place where you feel ready to pursue something like with deep intent and like a lot of passion towards it, I think it's totally possible. I don't think things are possible if you're half-assing something. If you're going in the approach of like, I mean, I want to do that stuff, but yeah, I guess I'll start doing it and just half-ass it. Like, I don't think it depends on the ambition of it. Like, but I feel like people accomplish crazy amount of things with when there's a lot of passion and a lot of obsession behind it. And I think it depends on how obsessed you get in terms of like how much you want that goal, and it has to be 100%. It can't be like in a place where you're like, you're 75 or even 95. Like it's got to be 100% belief in that you can do it. That's my experience in terms of everything that I've like accomplished in life. It's like I'm like when I was like I'm gonna pursue music. I completely cut everything that I was doing at that time, like in terms of film, in terms of dance or anything. I was like, I'm just gonna focus
Mm,
on music and I accomplished the things that I wanted to in that time frame. And then I got to a certain point where I had big ambitions for it, and I got to a
right,
certain point where like that percentage dropped down to like 70, like 70%, and I was kind of half-assing it from there.
right.
So like that type of determination and passion showed in the universe in terms of like what was starting to be attracted into my life. Because when I was doing music, when I started to do music 100%, I started bringing in all these different people and like all these like I was meeting
Mm,
musicians that were like crazy talented that just wanted to be involved in like helping. And I found like a guy who was like you know, like who came on and built my recording studio, and like all these people just was attracted the moment I was like I made that choice to do it. You know what I mean? And same with like the stop motion film we just did. The stop motion short film. Like
right.
it's like we're doing this, and I'm gonna like dedicate. I shut everything off. I told all the people, all my connections and like contacts and like clients. And I was like, tell everybody that I'm gonna be disappeared and I'm gonna go into this world and create that. And when I did that, I tried to so many amazing people to be a part of it.
Right.
And we didn't have any. I didn't have any doubts about it. I didn't have any like, oh, what if this is like too big? What if we can't do it? What if nobody helps me? Like I didn't believe any of that. I believed that this was gonna happen, and
Which you
that's what
did.
attracted me to my life. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's I would
I,
say sure.
I
You
think that's
gotta
what I
be
was getting. Yeah, completely. Yeah, I think that's one of the things I was getting at because just even being around you and just even hearing you speak about something which you have an idea of doing and then you
yeah,
blink and then it's formed.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
I mean,
No.
honestly, as a friend, that's what it's like. So thanks for sharing that. All right, and cool. So I
Yeah, but
think I
there's
know
like
that,
tons of times where I don't finish shit.
and
There's tons
and
of
I
things that
know
you
that
don't. There's tons of like, yeah,
for sure. And I know that too. And I know that too because I've seen you do that as well. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? But that's
yeah.
because through my experience observing you, that's because something else swoops in and kind of like overshadows that in the
Hmm.
moment. That's what I've observed as a
Totally,
friend,
totally.
which is okay,
Yeah.
right? Okay, I think I know the answer to this, but
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna answer it anyway. What was your last breakdance competition that you had where you were like, "I'm good, I'm done here"?
Um, let's see. I think it was culture shock in Taiwan. I think that was like the
Oh,
moment I was like, it wasn't BC one. It was like,
yeah, I thought it was gonna be
even
BC
though
one.
actually BC one, I was before that. Before doing that, I was already ready to retire before I even did that. And I was like, oh, I should just do this for myself, for just to get it out of the way, to say something. I did something, you know, big for as a solo competitor. And then after that, I didn't want to end it like that because one, I felt like I threw the battle in the end, and I didn't fully give it my 100%.
I remember.
So it was like I don't want to go out like that. I want to go out. I actually want to go out with my crew. I want to go out like what I loved about competing, which is like I love competing with my crew, not solo. I like so when I got asked to go for my crew to go to Taiwan and compete, I was like, all right, let's do it. I get to travel with my the guys I grew up dancing with. Um, and we entered, and that I feel like that competition, I left on a high note. I was like, I felt so good in terms of like my performance, where I was. I feel like I was at my what do you call it, peak, not
Yeah,
or
completely.
yeah. I felt like I was like there, and I just wanted to leave on a really positive, happy note. and even battling, Renegades at the end with like Kid David um, and all of them, and Miles and Tony. Like, I mean, yeah, it was like it was like really an experience. I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I can walk away from this now.
So, but when you did that competition, was that a personal thing for you inside your brain where you knew that that's what your goal was within that, or did you also share that with your friends before the battle?
No, I mean everybody in my crew already knew I was on my way out. Like they all knew that I was like starting
Got
to,
you. Yeah, makes
I
sense.
was already, my brain was already working towards other things and like, but
Mm.
and that place will always be in my heart in terms of the scene and the b-boy scene, and like it's made me who I am today, and like I would always go back and support it and revisit and stuff like that. Um, but in terms of competing and like, you know, being heavily into the scene, like it's not where I'm at anymore.
I Yeah, I know, and not that you
Yeah.
need to be whatsoever. Um, Okie dokie. All right, so you're like you are an artist which sings and makes music. Tell us what it's like to direct, produce, edit, and perform in your own music video. Because that's kind
Well,
of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I mean, I know like when you do it, it's just you're just doing it, so you're probably not even thinking about it. But it's a lot more
well,
than
yeah.
what other people do.
Uh-huh. I think it'd be crazy if you just decided you're gonna do it one day. Like it out of nowhere. Like, but there was a long journey that led up to this for me to actually pull something like that off. I couldn't have done it, 10 years ago when I first started to make stuff. And I it's just everything I've made up until that point has been practiced to do that. You know what I mean? Like I made a I made a short film, and then I made another one, and another one, and then like I did one where I shot the whole thing by myself. Like when I was the one Welcome Home where I'm cleaning my apartment. Like I just put it on a tripod and just like try to figure it out and shoot it myself. So it
That's
in
crazy.
doing that, it helped me envision what before I even shoot it. It helped me start to see it in my brain how I see it all done. You know,
Mm.
so it's kind of like it's training your brain on a different level in terms of like just taking it step by step. It actually is all like your brain starts to think in a way of like seeing the edit, seeing how it flows, seeing where the cut points are, um, seeing beat for beat in your brain first. You know, so I started. So even when I'm on camera, I know what it looks like. I could kind of have a really good clear vision of what it even looks like without even looking at the monitor. Because I'm trained. I'm trained to this point
That's
to know what it
crazy.
is. So even like I call my own cuts, like as I'm like hey, action, and I'll do the action, I'll go cut because I know it's like I have enough. That's where like but it takes a long time and a lot of like
No,
trial.
I get it. I do get it. It's really high level though. And because I get it because I know what a director's eye is, but
Mm,
I don't know if I could see myself in that way. Do you know what I mean? Like I think that's a different thing within itself which you have. But
yeah.
kudos to you, man.
But like I said, like you gotta be ready. You
Yeah.
gotta be like,
No.
if you say you're gonna do it, like you could do it if you just like if you put your brain there, like you're like, you know what, I'm gonna like I don't care, and it's like that it's that permission to um it's the permission you give to yourself to say I don't care if I suck or if I fail at it, because that's like that pressure alone just stops you from
Yeah, for
and when you
sure.
get in your head about it, it's like if you embrace the failures and you're actually looking um, you're looking forward to the failures, and it's actually like fun to do.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah, you've I mean, you've done it. You've done it. You've done a lot of things and you're syncing them in together basically.
Mm. My, well, thanks.
Okay. Um I want to get this perception of you with this. How do you view and I'll be more specific. How do you view choreography and what is your relationship with this art form? Because I feel like with you, you can create something in regards to choreography, though you're not living that choreography life. You're not living life as
Hmm.
a choreographer. So is it something
Yeah, it's
where
much
you're,
different.
yeah, like how is that to you? I mean, I don't know if you can really break that down, but I'd like to just see what that is
Mhm.
for you. Because you could be a choreographer if you would like to
Um,
be.
yeah, I mean my brain doesn't work in choreography. Like it doesn't work in setting moves and steps and like and like have everybody following and like seeing a whole piece choreographed from beginning to end. My brain is not really wired in that way. Like my choreography and the things that I do are are by in the process of taking one step to the other. Like they're designed in in camera shots. They're like from one shot to the other. Like how do I get from here to here? Like if I'm gonna grab this, like if I'm gonna grab this piece right here, this the prop, and I'm gonna bring it, and I need to land it over there. How do I get there to there? And I just take it step by step by that. So it's not like I know the song and I do like I'm gonna create 4 8 counts in this section, and I'm gonna create 4 8 counts in this section. Like my brain works more in a designed storytelling way where I kind of freestyle it, and then it becomes the choreography. If that made sense, because I like to
Completely.
feel what it is like first. So it's like it's really small increments on how I create choreography. It's not like an overall just like a library of moves. It's just like what's the best way to get to point A to point B.
So you
That
pretty
makes
much see
sense.
things. You pretty much kind of see it as scenes.
Yeah, I see it as like per shot, like in a way. I mean, unless I'm doing a live performance, it's the similar thing but without the edits.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah. Completely, completely. That
Yeah,
makes
it's
complete
a
sense.
similar thing. Yeah. So it's like, how do I get from this point to this point, and I'll just take it from there. And then I have ideas where I want it to go, but I don't rush it. Like, or sometimes I'll jump to that section, and I'll jump back over here, and I'll just like fill in the gaps, like how to get there.
Yeah,
You
that
know?
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's just so many different types of choreography, but for when you are creating choreography, it seems to be a bit more theatrical based. Like
Mm,
everything which you are creating, whether it's like you getting other people to choreograph or it's in your movies, it's still quite storytelling. But even like the
mm,
things which you do actually create for yourself is
mm.
very theatrical based. So I just wanted to just know what that was for you, you know?
Well, I think because like my choreography and the things that I create are more pedestrian movements that
Yeah,
with a little flair. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It has like a little
And you
pizzazz
can,
to it. Like
yeah,
it's
and
just
you can see who your inspirations are, and
totally,
yeah,
totally. But there's not like I don't use much dance steps. Like I don't use like just steps that don't really mean anything to what I'm trying to say. And unless there's like moments of flashiness that I just want to give a little bit of like some energy to, and I'll just like throw in a spin or a kick or like a slide or something like that just kind of adds more excitement to the choreography. So it's not just like step, grab, spin, land, step, mark. So just kind of like I think that's how I like you know. There's some people I had to do a couple jobs where I just had to choreograph steps, and I was so like stumped on it. I didn't even know.
right,
Like, I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I was trying to come up with like moves and like slides and like
Yeah,
things
yeah, yeah,
like.
yeah, yeah.
And I was like,
That's
what
what
is
I
all this?
mean.
I
That's
don't
what I
know what I'm
mean.
doing.
It's
You know what I mean?
so different. Like it's so different.
So different.
And that's why I asked this question, because I think most people's brains. Well, I guess it depends what you're inspired by. A lot of people's brains, and especially in the field that I have worked in for so many years, like it's all steps. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I think that it's different because I know like you've probably looked at Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire and
Oh yeah,
like, do you know what I mean? Like the greats of that
they have
area.
all these. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
and they
It's
have all
amazing.
these moments where they have all this choreography and steps and like and beautiful movements and stuff like that. But it always circles around to back to what the story is, or not only what the story is, what the feeling of this scene
Yeah.
is, and
For-
like the way they walk and like the expression they have on their face, it feels so free and like um, you
Is
know,
that something that you were drawn to when you were just a kid in general?
I didn't know about Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly until I was like in my like early 20s. So I didn't really know anything about like them at all, like which was crazy. Um, and
Maybe I was the same, in fact, when I think about it.
Yeah, yeah. But when I saw them, I was like,
Makes
that's
sense.
what
Makes sense.
because yeah, I started as a b-boy, but like I didn't ever felt that was my essence. I never felt like that was um, my soul as a dancer. I fell in love with it because it was just so mesmerizing to watch, and like that was my first introduction to dance. But the moment, and I always felt like an outsider in the b-boy scene, and that's why I was always expressing myself in different ways and stuff like that. And then when I found Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire, I was like, that's what I feel like. And then
Wow.
I felt like I was born in the wrong era. I was like, I should have been born in the 30s or something like that, or the 20s, so I could have like, I could have expressed how I really feel and been around the people that I really wanted to be around. Um, but that's just the dreamer, that like obviously I have such gratitude for the b-boy scene and what it's done for me, and
For
like
sure.
because I think it's one of the most beautiful art forms in dance.
That's
Um,
amazing, man. That's an amazing story. See, look, I'm so happy I asked you that question. See?
yeah,
Um
yeah, thank you,
okay,
man. We're becoming like even closer friends.
I know that's what I'm talking about. Should do this weekend. Just kidding. Just kidding. Was there ever a period in one of your transitions where you were like 5, 6, 7? Now what? Like there was a gap. Like there was a gap where you're like, oh shit. Like
um,
what is this crossover? Or did everything just kind of like fold and transition like perfect?
I think I think it folded. I think it unfolded perfectly for me because I was always one to follow my instincts, and
Mm,
it just led me there because I was like, I want to do that, so I'm going to do that, and a lot of people I feel like they get stuck in thinking that this is all they have. So, if they don't have this, who are they, or like what,
yeah, for
or
sure.
I feel interested in that, but I already have this going for me, so maybe I just stay here, like. But I was always curious about you know everything that came up that I was attracted to, and so I.
So would you say from what you just said that's still quite it's quite an identity thing, right?
Mm,
Like I do this and this is who I am.
oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can only speak from my own brain. Like I know everybody has their own ways. Like like um, I feel people are very just curious in general, but there is a certain comfortability that we also do fall under. Even myself, I have my own comfortabilities of things that I like to, the worlds I like to stay in. I say no a lot. Obviously, you know this. I say no
The
to
king
so
of
many
no's.
things.
I call you the king of no's.
King your nose, like
You are the king of
because
no's.
it
This
doesn't
guy's the king
serve.
of no's.
Yeah, and it doesn't serve me on what I want to do, so I'll say no a lot. So my curiosity is very also limited to the things that I just want to be. You know, I just want to be doing.
I do have to say
But
though, since observing you in that manner, I've definitely learned to say no a lot more. A
mhm,
lot more. Yeah, just for myself personally. And it just really like it allows you to tap into what you're really, really seeking as opposed to just doing something for the sake of doing it.
totally, totally, for sure. Like it's like that's how you narrow in the things like the things that find that reveal who you really are, like what you really want to do with your life. And
Mm,
but it's just like it's and then it's also separating your ego of saying no or your heart saying no, like what you know. Just sometimes like I'm not good. That's too good. I'm too good for that. Or you know, like you have to check yourself in those moments.
I get what you mean. I get exactly what you mean. Um,
Yeah.
do you still identify as being a dancer?
Yeah. Uh, it's like I identify myself as being um, yes, a storyteller, a creator. Like I wouldn't say identify myself as a musician, a director, an animator,
Hmm.
an art, like an illustrator or dance. Like it's I kind of feel like they're all one. So I don't really know what that is. I don't know what that um, the word
An
for that is.
umbrella, and
Yes.
creator's umbrella,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're a lot of things. So
Totally. So yeah, but definitely I'll always be a dancer. I always think in movement. I always think in music. You know, I always think. Um, I feel like rhythm and rhythm and movement is I feel like is embedded in the universe in terms of everything. So
that
I
was
like to tap
profound.
into what that is. Yeah,
That was profound.
that's it.
That was
Profound.
very, very profound.
I
And
profound
you profound that. You really did profound.
that. Whoa, whoa! I profound that.
That was amazing, though. I mean, it's complete. I mean, you nailed it. Like spot on. It's true. Like, and we don't even really think about it, but they really are. Like, for real. Seriously.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
My bad.
wait, I lost you.
Sorry. Sorry. Um. All right. So, name 3 things within your career that you feel deeply proud of, or you can give me
Three
2.
things I feel proud of.
No, give me 3. Give me 3.
Um, you did three.
Give me 3. Give me 3.
Uh,
I want 3.
damn. I don't know. I mean,
You've got a couple
I
things to
think
think about.
yeah, a lot. I mean, there's a lot. I just don't know. Yeah, I mean, today's a day is one of them because that was a super hard one to do in terms of emotionally, mentally, physically. You know, belief in myself, like all that stuff. Like that was a big one because it was a huge step in terms of getting over something I struggle with a lot, and I think every artist struggle with this is self doubt. You know, so I did that. I remember doing that, and you know, like we just talked about earlier, like just believing in it and just pushing it, even though I had all these doubts and fears. So that was a big one. The TED Talk was also another big one because it was
I know.
another like you know big fear to like overcome and like actually speak about it and share that fear with
How did
people.
you how did you actually get on there?
I just got an email one time from somebody who I was running it. Um,
What?
yeah, I got an email and just said that yeah, we're doing a TEDx talk in Greece, and would you like to be a part of it? And it was about limits and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, so that's how it happened. Just an email, and I didn't respond for like I think like a month or something because I read it a month ago. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna respond to that.
First and
I'm good. I
foremost,
was
I didn't know that it was in Greece. So shocker. So happy I'm doing the
really.
podcast with you. I did not know it was in Greece. I like you just don't even
Oh, I
question
saw
where
that
TED
like
Talks are.
Greek amphitheater, that Greek amphitheater. It was like beautiful,
I just see the TED Talk stage.
but it was
I
like
didn't
in cobblestone. It was. I mean, it was all these stones like amphitheater.
Do you know what? I have to be honest. I actually haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to this week
Oh,
for sure.
how are you, my friend?
After this, I just, do you know what? Like, no,
No, you should watch.
it's just such. It honestly is such a big deal. There's just even
You just want
coming
to be
to
in the
America.
right place to watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah. There you go. I think that's what it is for sure. 100%. There, you nailed it. You nailed it. That's what it is. It's just such a big deal. Like,
I know what you
I
mean.
just, yeah, I just want to just Yeah, completely. But dang, I did not know it was in Greece. That is amazing. That makes it even more amazing. Oh my word. And hold on, like you
Yeah,
just got a
that was
random
so weird.
email. Like, did someone say, "Oh, I saw you on"? Like, what was that? Like, how did you
No,
just get an email?
it was like a random search thing. It went like they have a search thing, and then my name popped up. And all right, let's just write this guy and see if he'll do a TED talk. They didn't even know what I did. No,
Nope.
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. No. They obviously saw my work.
Ah!
No, they obviously saw my work.
Hey, you're so ridiculous. You're so like the lottery, the
Yeah,
lottery
it's
for
all
TikToks.
yeah. I was like, you've been selected to do a TEDx talk. I'm like, oh wow, me. Um, no, they
Oh,
obviously seen my
you're
work for
so
a bit,
ridiculous.
and and saw the things that I do, and I guess the things I've accomplished, and that I'll be a good candidate for it. And they have so many different people there, like from different backstories and different lifestyles and perspectives. It was really cool. It was amazing.
But you all were there to speak about the same thing. Is that what that was?
About limits, yeah,
Wow. Yeah,
yeah.
that
It was
sounds
so.
amazing.
I mean, you should watch the whole. You should watch the whole thing for me. It was really cool.
Mm. Yeah, that must have been amazing for you to observe as well, to like watch the
Hmm.
others.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Cloud. Sorry, your last one. Amazing. That was the second one.
Uh, and the last one. Um, and you said accomplishments.
Something that you're proud of.
I'm proud of. Uh, um,
Big or small.
I don't know the third one. I mean, they're like their accomplishments and they're all like they all serve a big purpose in terms of the journey and stuff like that. And I'm proud of all of them, even though when like, even the ones I'm like not proud of, like that I'm like that sucked. Like I'm still like proud that I did it. Um, you know, uh, like even that bus stop piece,
Yeah,
for doing that, like I just felt like that was
that's amazing.
uh, that was another one I didn't really typically want to do, but I felt the need to share, you know, something with people with a message. Um, and I
That you
guess,
did.
yeah, I think to be able to have a gift and to share it in a way that could help inspire people in any capacity, in terms of it being a dancer or an artist or even just a mom or something like that at home with with their kids or and finding the inspiration of like seeing their kids being inspired by it, which inspires them, and then reaching out and saying, "Hey, you've you've inspired my kids," and like I feel like that to step back from my ego and not speak from that place, just to speak from a place of like I'm grateful and proud that I'm able to create stuff that does make a difference. You know, I think that's probably the bigger thing I'm most proud of is like is not you know not taking for granted of what I was given as an artist and as a creator, and doing nothing with it and trying to do what I can to like inspire people. Um, so I think that's something
To be
I
proud
would
of.
say to be proud
That's
of. Yeah.
I tell you why that was just so interesting that you just said that because my next question was going to be what is the driving force which keeps propelling you to evolve and create the way that you do?
Hmm.
But you
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much
Well, I mean
just
that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's a big driving force. That's a big driving force in terms of like, you know, if you got a gift and you're here, like we don't, none of us know why we're really here. So you're like, why? And I think that's a question you ask yourself every day. Why am I on this like planet? And why am I? What's the purpose of my life? And like,
totally
I feel like so many people have gifts, and a lot of them don't even know what it is. Like, and they haven't found it. And
completely
I know I found mine like at a very early age, which I feel very grateful for. And
for sure.
um, I think. being able to use that gift to leave behind something, even if like it's never credited as that was a source of where it came from, but it helps people evolve like creatively or like wanting to you know to to live on, um, pretty much to live forever, like in a way, because we're here and gone in an instant
Completely.
in terms of time, like, so you're like, I definitely, and I think the other thing that's a driving force is the constant battle um, with myself to to constantly make things that remind me, um, to to stay on the right track. Like I make a lot of things too, just like down so later down the line in my life, I can look at as reminders of like, you know, like, um, to keep going. I guess like I struggle. Yeah, I think everyone. I'm not alone when I say you struggle with like just your purpose of why you're here, like of what does this all mean, and so I write from a place like that, or I create from a place like that in a lot of ways, just to say this is why you're here, this is why, you know. Um, so yeah, I guess like I would speak, I would say from that place, I would um, if I feel like giving up or anything like that, I the driving force says like, oh well, um, let me make something that helps me not give up, and in
Mm.
doing that, that, and also,
Wow.
and it's like a self talk, and like it's like a self talk, like, oh, and also if you do that for yourself, you're also probably going to be helping somebody else,
Mm.
not give up as
That's
well.
such an interesting way to think about it. So it's quite selfless in an interesting way.
It's selfless and it's selfish.
Selfish. Yeah,
It's
yeah, completely. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like,
completely.
yeah,
Completely,
but
100%. Because we both know how you feel about the whole selfish thing. We've had these
totally,
conversations.
we had that talk for sure, because like that's how like, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with like,
Being
there's
selfish,
everyone is selfish in some sort of way. That's
for
how they have to
sure.
keep going. You have to
Completely.
think about yourself.
But it's
But if you could
interesting.
help somebody,
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you're kind of you're yeah, it's a win-win basically.
mm, yeah, totally.
I've never
It
looked at
is
it
a
like that
win-win
before.
in the end.
Yeah, I've never looked at it like that. That's really
Yeah. And
interesting.
then when we talk about it, you're like,
Yeah, yeah,
can't
yeah.
be everybody can't be selfish. Like,
We had
and
like
it's
a
not a bad thing. It's
whole
not like you
yeah,
have
we had like a whole discussion about it, and I just couldn't wrap my brain around it. But I think there's certain topics that we speak about where, and I want to say more in the past, because
yeah,
this is probably like about a year or two ago, maybe, where we started really first hanging out like intensely, and like you just had kind of like these clean
yeah.
cut ways of seeing things, and I was just like, no, but as I've got older, I do have to say, like, like, especially on that one, completely, like, we are all doing these things for ourselves for what it is, but we're also it's also enhancing other people's life, whoever it be, whether it's inspiration, whether it's like your partner,
Yeah, exactly.
whether it's like whoever.
Yeah, yeah. Which is which is totally fine and normal.
I concur. I'm with you now. I'm with you now.
Do concur.
I concur. I concur. Um, I am cool. So I only have a few more questions left. I only have a few more questions left for you.
Cool.
If you could be any artist for a day, who would it be and why?
Any artist for a day?
Yeah, could be anybody, anything, anybody. I've just been so intrigued who that would be for you, to just like
I
smold
don't
into their
know.
body and experience life.
Damn, really pressured. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know because there's a few people I would like to be, in the body of like.
Okay,
Um,
give me how many as many as you want then, and but give me
like
the reason why.
I would love to be, like Steven Spielberg on like one of like Indiana Jones or something like that, just to experience that type of that that type of power, that type of
Mm,
creativity, being around all those incredible people and that team, and just like or Goonies or whatever, like all of his like his films, like that would be a great person just to be
love
in for it.
Goonies.
Yeah, and and just to be definitely during that time back in the days, like Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire, or Donald O'Connor, or Charlie Chaplin, or
Mm,
Buster Keaton, or like even Michael Jackson, like just to be in the shoes when he's on stage, just to have that, it's just to feel that energy of because I've been on stage before, and like I've stood up there, and there was a moment where I feel like I connected with everyone in the arena because like all the attention and all the energy was just like this, and I felt like in a way it was just like it was an experience you've never felt before. Like I mean, you can't get it anywhere. Like there's a certain thing that when it comes to live performance, there's a certain thing that comes from when you
for
are
sure.
a performer in front of camera, and then there's that performer that you're when you're behind the camera. That they're all different, and
Yeah,
like
for sure.
and those are the things that like I get such a high from, and I think all those people are at the caliber of like the highest level of all those places. So I would feel like, I mean, to be in all those guys' shoes, like in those moments, like at the height of their career, and just uh, it would be the highest of high for me. I think
Again, so happy I
that
asked that
touches
question. It's really interesting. It's funny.
really cool.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I just thought that would be really good for you, just because I don't know. I think your inspirations are so different than a lot of other people's. So it's just interesting to hear all of the names which you had brought up. And I tell you what's even more interesting. And I was gonna ask you this question, but you brought it. You actually brought his name into it. I will remember. I was hanging outside Movement Lifestyle. I was gonna say
Mhm.
not so long ago, but it was quite a bit ago now. Um, it's crazy; it doesn't even exist anymore. But I was with Sean Evaristo, and your name came up, and he actually said that you were the Charlie Chaplin of today. So it's just
Ah,
interest. Yeah, I know. Like, and
it's
Sean
interesting.
Evaristo. Yeah, I know. So, and I will never forget when he told me that because I think you are many things. I never would have linked the two together, and I don't think a lot of people would have linked the two together. But Sean is from the future as well, so it's just really
Mhm.
interesting that you
Yeah.
he's from the future. It's just interesting that you had brought up Charlie Chaplin's name when you did, because I was actually gonna like bring that up in one of the questions, but I chose not to. So it's just wild
Mhm.
that Charlie Chaplin is one of your inspirations like that, because I didn't know.
Oh, of course.
Hold on.
I mean, not many people. You know, yeah.
What I was gonna say is, your Black Lives Matter thing.
Mm.
That wasn't was
Yeah.
that was connected to what Charlie Chaplin's thing was, right? Or my
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
it
That
was
was that
right.
was his speech.
There you go.
Taylor. Yeah.
See, I didn't even
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
connect. I didn't even connect all of that. I did not connect all of
But
that
you've
until
seen all the
now.
like. I mean, Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin. Obviously Jim Carrey as well. Like those are big inspirations. Like of not only my movement and dance, just in terms of like but personality and like and the perspective of how they see stuff, like in humoristic movement way and stuff. Like I don't do much of the physical comedy stuff, but I'm so gravitated.
Yes.
I just love physical
Yeah, you
physical
are.
comedy is one of my favorite comedy there is. So like
I know.
I love just making like little skits where it's just comedic, humor, like physical comedic humor. So it's like
Sorry, I'm
when I
thinking
watch
about the one
like Tom
when
and
you're in the
Jerry,
pool. You know the one where you're trying to get in the pool,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yo, that's
yeah.
killing me right now.
Doing the Jersey, yeah, yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
I mean, and I know that and there's nothing better. There's no better gift to give anyone in the world but laughter.
Yeah,
Like
you're
you
right.
know this. Like
100%.
if you give somebody
100%.
laughter, like
Yeah, it's true.
I
It's
wish there
just
was I
different.
wish there was like a box, like a present you could open, and it's just laughter. Like that'd be so cool. Like I feel like that's the best gift you could give anyone.
That is so
So
cool.
of
That is
course, like
amazing.
yeah,
I mean, first and foremost, the
yeah,
Charlie Chaplin thing is amazing for me. Again, even as a friend, because I never even connected all of those things, like, and they're all so intertwined. But yeah, you do. I mean, when we're together, I mean, it's constantly jokes upon jokes upon jokes. But I think what's great about you also is like you're not you're not afraid to be that guy that just does stupid goofy things on camera. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I feel like there's still so many people like putting on their cool front, you know?
yeah. So much of that today that I feel like is missing in the world. Like everyone is like trying to be so cool. Like there's no like there's no brightness and happiness and like just smiles like and especially with like our influencers, like our biggest
Yeah,
influencers of like artists, like they're all
completely.
so cool, like they're
They're
all
either,
just plain
everyone's either cool or sexy.
cool or sexy, like or just trying to be hardcore or like a
Yeah,
bad
yeah, yeah,
bitch or
yeah, yeah.
like I'm I'm a cool like my music is like just too cool for everybody, or like my performance I don't want to give too much because I don't want to look like a fool. Like it's just it feels like no one's taking just letting go like these days. Like I feel like no one leaves their heart on the stage anymore, or like
Right.
takes risk, or like you know I mean it's if you just go back from the times of Michael Jackson, Queen, James Brown, like Rolling Stones, all those guys, like just like you can tell when they go on stage, like they're just having the time of their lives out
Oh
there.
my
Like
god, I didn't even think about again. It's so true. It's I tell you what's interesting. My dad loves Queen. My dad doesn't even like watch like music or like artists like that at all. But my dad will watch Queen over and over again. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, he
yeah.
really put himself out there. Like, it's
I
so
know.
true. It's yeah, I never even thought about it. It's the difference of what it was back then to what it is now.
It's so different because I feel like it's a different now. Everyone the competition, because back then the competition was your presence. It's like how can you project so much? Like how can you project who you are to make the most impact on the crowd? Like, and today it's more like who can make the catchiest song, the most hummable, like
Yeah,
commercial, like that infectious type of song that you
yeah.
just cannot stop singing, and you're annoyed of it. Like it just feels like. Yeah, it's not really about the performance or like the presence or the aura of the artist nowadays. It's more of you know I don't know. I miss those days.
Yeah, yeah, me too. It's good. It's good
Obviously,
that
I'm
you
an
brought
old
it up.
soul.
Yeah,
Yeah,
clearly, and it shows in many ways more than one. Okay,
yeah.
so this is your last question for the day, and I'm super proud even just to be able to ask this question because I saw, well, I just saw you even just mention it. To be honest, so a lot of people have seen like the dogs which you've been working with. Can you share some about that and that project? And for everyone that's even watching this, like I just
Oh,
want to say that it was amazing because I don't know, I just feel like one day Cloud was just like, yeah, I have this idea with two dogs. And you're just like, yeah, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden you're just seeing some drawings, like you're just seeing like these basic drawings of like dogs, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then the dogs just evolved, like on paper. This is all drawings which Cloud did on paper. They just evolved, and you're like, oh my god. And then he just kept on showing me more and more, and then I feel like I blinked, and then he had like a whole studio with dogs and trash cans, and I was
This
just
dog's made and everything.
like, what is happening right now? So yeah, it was just really amazing to just see just you even speaking about them, and then now you've
The
completed it.
process of it.
Yeah, but yeah, can you just share it, man? Because I feel like people need to know a bit about that at least.
Yeah.
And where did it even
Yeah.
come from?
Well, so it came from a song. It came actually. It's funny because I have two feature films now that I'm writing, and they both came from a song that I wrote. Just one song, like one little music video idea that turned into a whole like world, a whole like storyline that I abandoned the song. Like, so it's not even my song has nothing even to do with it anymore. So it's just turned into something else, which is I'm grateful for writing that song. But yeah, it started from that. It was going to be a music video, which turned into a short film that evolved into a proof of concept for a feature film. And we just like because if you're gonna put in time and energy into making a stop motion film, it's got to be worth something. You got to do it for like a bigger purpose. It's like,
Completely.
especially at my age, you just don't just want to jump into something like as if I'm 19 years old or something like that, where I'm like, I got all the time in the world, I'm gonna make something fun. Like it's like I was like, "No, I gotta make something at this point that's gonna have some substance, like something that will have some weight to it. And so we yeah, I assembled this team, um, a very small team of us that was probably um, you know one of the most incredible teams I've ever worked with, even on a large scale. Like this
Right.
this this little small group of people. Um, I mean, we got a space out in Pasadena for like I think yeah, it was for 7 months. That whole process took to make this
Dang, I
little
didn't
group
know it
of
was
us.
that long.
Yeah, it's like from moving in to leaving, it was 7 months, but it took 5 months
And
to animate.
that was pretty much at the big, like, clear, like at the beginning of the pandemic, right? To a certain degree.
It was at the beginning of the pandemic, so yeah, and we had planned to do it like before even any of this even hit. We even knew about COVID or anything like that.
Yeah, I remember.
So all the timing of it kind of just worked out where we just moved in. And but yeah, the inspiration behind it is like I'm a huge dog lover. I think dogs are just some of the most like probably the most um, pure, perfect creature there is on the planet. And just from
No, I
my
get it
experience with dogs,
completely.
like so I wanted to make something that was like had a heart, had a lot of heart, and had a lot of a big message to tell to humans. Which is like I think if you are a dog person, and you know anything about dogs, like you know that they have some of the most simplest messages to live by. Just by observing a dog, like just by looking at one and like seeing how they live their life. It's so simple, and like it's so complicated to be a human that we need that simplicity to bring us back down.
Yeah.
To just be like, okay, it's not that complicated. What's like if anything, I'll be okay because look at this dog. He's
Yeah.
just sleeping, laying there, and he's not doing anything. He just wants a little love, some food, and some water, and some yard to play, and like that's how. So I just wanted to create something that had a powerful message for everyone to just come back and look at and be reminded of like you know, life is simple and it should be simple. And I just tell it through the perspective of a dog, you know, through the perspective of a human, through the eyes of a dog.
Yes. Yeah, 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 for sure.
Yeah.
I get
So
that.
yeah.
And
So
everyone that
that's like
will
kind of
watch it will
a
get it.
gist. I can't speak too much on it, like, because it's a
It's
not a
smart.
secret
It's very
project,
smart.
but yeah, I just yeah, I just that this. at our ages, bro, you just want to do stuff that really means something to you, especially in your later years. You're just like, I just want to make something that that has some substance and
Yeah.
can make a difference in the smallest way. Um,
It's really interesting. Did you ever watch um the movie Fern Gully?
yeah, of course,
Yeah.
it's a bit.
So
Yeah,
that was literally one of my favorite movie. I mean, it probably still is one of my favorite movies. Like that's what inspired
yeah, I love that
Avatar.
movie.
Yeah, that's what inspired Avatar. Clearly, like had to have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like so,
totally.
it's just interesting. Like when you said all of that, my brain totally just went to Fern Gully because it was a cartoon, but it just had so many amazing messages, and it just really made me like look at life and Earth and the planet completely different in a way that I'd not before. It really made me look
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah,
like life differently. So it's just cool. Again, I know we can't speak too much about it, and I know what you're doing
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
dogs. It literally it puts you through the eyes of a dog and a human
Yeah,
being.
of a different perspective of the things that you're destroying. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's amazing. It's
yeah.
amazing.
Just
It's
and
just
I feel like as people, like that's all we that's our everyday battle is just trying to understand each other. Like we're
mm,
trying to, and we can only see life or 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 a way of thinking through our own perspective and our own experiences in life. But to be able to be put into the other person's shoes, that's like the only time we can actually go, oh shit, I never even saw it that way. Like, and I think we're constantly just trying to do that. That's why there's so many arguments, with everybody. They're just like,
yeah,
you're not understanding because you're not, like, obviously I don't, because I don't live in your brain. But what's the best way for me to understand what you're trying to tell
yeah,
me?
exactly. And I feel like people
Um,
don't even ask that question.
so, yeah, no, I know, and yeah, I think that's stubbornness and ego, and um, that's why movies are so powerful, man. Is that you can just do it in a way that's not
Yeah,
so aggressive to the other person. It's just like you could watch it as like an outsider and just go, oh wow, okay, cool, I understand that. Now I understand
yeah,
what the
totally.
person was saying to me. Yeah, I need to. That's why I love. I think that's why I love the most about filmmaking and storytelling is that you speak objectively and just you could just like tell it through your own perspective and like and I think that's why when it's not personal one on one with somebody, like that's why speeches are amazing because you're speaking not at someone just directly. Because I feel like when you speak to somebody directly, they automatically feel attacked. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
are you questioning me?
Yeah,
But if you're like speaking in
completely.
general, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
never even looked at it
anyways,
like that. Okay, Cloud, thank you for being my first guest on 567. Now what?
of course, dude,
I
we
appreciate
did
that.
it.
We did
We
it.
did it.
We did it. I did it. We did it.
We talked
So
about this
basically,
last week.
yeah. So me and Cloud spoke about this, and I was just like, "Yeah, I want to do a podcast." And then Cloud, as I said earlier, Cloud threw the name at me, and he was just like, "Whoa, well, I should be the first one." And I was just like, "Well, that's amazing." So yeah, thank you, man. Thank you so much. I would
Of
definitely,
course,
yeah. Well, I mean, I would definitely have you back on this, and when the movie's made, and then we can speak about it again then. And but yeah, man, keep on being great and keep
yeah,
on inspiring, and
great
yeah, man.
questions.
Thank you, man. Much appreciated.
Yeah,
We're,
thanks. Yeah, thanks
we're
for having me, bro. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
yeah, man. All right, brother. Thank you, man. Catch you in a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,